If you're a residential real estate agent earning $200,000 a year and you want to grow your passive income, this show's for you. Learn the secrets other agents use and hear from experts in our field in order to guide you along your journey to investing in assets like apartment communities so that you can turn your commissions into cash flow. I'm Randall McLeod. Let's go, baby. All right, welcome back to the show. It's great to have you on today. I'm excited for our conversation with Valerie Jarnberg. She is a top producer with Century 21 Champions out of the Tampa Bay area. Interesting chatting with her, seeing how she has structured her business. She's originally from France, immigrated over here, and I think she said 30 years ago or so. So she's been here for a while, but she has maintained that connection and has a large client base of international clients. And so just having the conversation with her, talking to her, figuring out how she structured her business, some of the challenges that are unique to having international clientele, and just in general, having a good conversation about real estate. So I know you're going to get a lot from it. If you're getting value from the show, please do go on wherever you listen to podcasts and rate and review the show. We really appreciate it. And let's jump in and chat with Valerie. Here we go. All right, Valerie, welcome to the show. It is great to have you on. I'm excited to have this conversation with you and talk about where you are in the brokerage side of your business, what you're doing that's winning you deals right now, and talk about, the Tampa market and that sort of thing. So welcome to the show. Can you just, again, start off and tell us the market that you're in and what your business really focuses on, your clientele?
Sure. Thank you. Yes, I'm in the St. Petersburg, Tampa area. So I cover everything from Sarasota to Newport Richey to Tampa. But I live in the St. Pete, Seminole area. And it's very active here. I'm also French originally, as you can hear. And I work with a lot of international buyers and sellers here, lots of French people or French-speaking people. So I do a lot of international as well. And yeah.
All right. And so just for perspective, like what price point are you typically focused in? What sort of?
I would say from 400 to 900,000 is about what I do. But I work with a lot of referral. So if you have, your aunt that's selling and she has a $200,000 home or apartment, I will help. And as well with, any type of price range in the area. It doesn't matter.
What does 200 get me in that area? What am I buying?
200. So for a house, 220,000. I just saw one yesterday. Gets you a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, cash. You have to have cash, otherwise you don't get it. Okay. But you do get a 2-bedroom, 1-bath with 1-car garage, decent block home. Very hard to get, but with cash you can do it.
Yeah. So it's like a maybe distressed or you have to act quickly type deal.
Yeah, but there's in the 250 you can still get some stuff. Yeah, some of it is really in bad shape, but yeah, you can still get something. The average price here is 450, and 450 gets you a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, normal home, and that's increased a lot since the last 3 years, of course.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so that's your market. You said you do a lot of international buyers and that sort of thing. Did you purposely set your business up that way, or how did that come about that was kind of a focus of yours?
Yeah, so I'm French and I moved here 33 years ago. And a lot of my friends are French or French-speaking people from Belgium or other countries. And we have a huge group. And I became the president of the Union of the French outside of France. And so everybody knows me. I'm a lot, I have a lot of Facebook page and Instagram and posts like that. So everybody knows me and gets to me and say, hey, you're selling, I want to sell with you, or we're friends, I'm selling with you. And so I ended up selling to a lot of people that are moving not just from France or to France, but really from anywhere, because they have their friends that are here or they know me from somewhere else. So it helps, it helps in that way. So
yeah, for sure. Well, let's talk about that then, because one of the things I want to ask you about is, what is winning you business right now, right? It's things have slowed down a little bit, right? And we can talk about the market in a minute, but in general, because the rates are rising, listings have slowed down from a number of agents that I've talked to around the country. So the demand is still there on the buy side, but the point is, what are you doing in this current economic cycle that's really winning you business that may set you apart, or that someone else listening can take and try to implement in their business?
Yeah. So the keys in any market. It goes up and down. It's always hard for listing agents, for instance, to get listings in general. Even if it goes really well. So you have to keep up with your clients, your past clients, and you have to talk to your sphere of influence. And this is the typical things: be kind, be normal, don't ask for business. I never say, hey, when are you selling? It's just a follow up, and be kind, and just become friend with the people you're working with and keep up. I do a few things, but I don't do enough probably, but I do a few things that keep me in mind. For instance, I'm going to be listing a property that I sold 10 years ago to a lady. I only sent her calendars for Christmas, and she just called me to list her property, and she said, I wanted to list with you and nobody else. And I was really shocked because I really didn't get in touch with her. I didn't reach out that much because it was so long ago. And that was really nice. So it happens quite a lot just by doing a good job, being present, being, following up, and that works.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So yeah, you must have made a good impression though, 10 years ago when you did the deal. And she likes your calendars. That's good.
Yeah, I guess it's first investment for sure. But you need to do more than that for sure. In general, I do try now to send things regularly by mail. Probably not enough. Like people do more than I do, but and following up with people I like with, hey, how is your kid doing, and things like that. Just by text mostly, so I don't bother too much the people. I don't want to be an annoying agent where you keep on calling all the time and doing too much either annoys a lot of people. So
yeah. I mean, we all get those lists where we get somehow sucked into somebody's marketing list, and you get an email every 2 hours. Like, no, please stop. So yeah, there's a good balance.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
So I want to ask you, with your experience working with international buyers and sellers, what are some of the unique challenges that come with working with that type of clientele that I wouldn't see on a traditional deal? My neighbor down the street wants to sell, and he's there. I can go talk to him. So, like, what are some of the challenges you see when you're working with international clients?
Well, the key is what they don't know, because they can't ask you the questions of how the process is going without, if you can't explain it very well right away, you won't know what's going to happen. And there are so many differences here with other countries that you need to really be aware of what's going on and how to explain it to them. And on a different note is also what people expect. Like, for instance, French people, when they come here, they always want something very bright and light. And a lot of the American households have those black shades, everything is closed and dark, and you can tell for sure they won't like the house if that's the case. So I would say to a seller, and also, for instance, the European sellers tend to not have AC in their house on purpose. And it happens so often when I had buyers coming in and say, is the AC not working? And I said, no, it's just because they are European and they don't turn the AC as cold as we do here in the States. Yeah. And that's, tricks like that help with the sellers and buyers, to know what they expect.
Yeah, for sure. Do you do listings and transactions on the other side? Are you doing any brokerage work in France? Okay.
No, I don't. I refer. So I'm part of a few organizations like FIAPSI, for instance, which is an international real estate organization. And they have great agents everywhere in the world. So if I have somebody, like last month, I had somebody going to Costa Rica wanting to buy, I find the best agent on my group, that's there, that's going to take care of them and help them and make sure that they know what they're doing. It's their country, it's their area. I can't do it for them. So I want them to be well taken care of, and that happens, and we get a referral for it. So great job.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. So what was that again? Can you say that?
So FIAPSI, FIABCI. It's originally from France, but it's international, and they have, I think, over 1 million members in that organization. So I'm part of that group, and anybody can be. You just join, and what's great is you have really top producers in each area. And what I really like, it's not so much the international as much as knowing the people from Boston, from San Diego. So I have top realtors that are working now with me, everywhere I need to, and I can send them without a question, my buyers or my sellers relocating without an issue, so it's really a great group. And so having a network, and with the CIPS, for instance, that we can get with NAR, you also have that type of relationship with other realtors everywhere. And that allows you, to connect with people and refer easily. And, you get a referral from that, and that works well for everybody.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. I literally just interviewed another agent. She's out of the North Carolina area, but she's traveling. Like, her thing is that she's the traveling realtor. So she doesn't really do the agent business anymore. All she does is referral. So she has a big network of people and she's like, well, I produce all the leads and I just refer those leads out. I vet them and so it's just interesting that bolt on, a lot of agents that I've talked to lately have been using referrals as like a great revenue source in it by itself.
So totally. And even, when I'm surprised when realtors retire that they don't use that, because it would be so easy to say, hey, I'm still active, but not doing much at all. And I refer my clients to the best top realtor in my office or somebody else that they like and get a passive income way. Most realtors, they just quit and do nothing. And it's too bad that they don't earn a living out of that.
Yeah. Your clientele it's still a book of business that you can earn from.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay. So that's on the international. I'm also kind of curious, is there like a nationality that is moving or purchasing in a big way in your area that you deal with mostly? And if so, why?
So of course I do French mostly. Canadians have, it's on and off, depending on the market. They come depending on their money and all that. So we see a lot of Canadians, of course. But in this area, it's mostly Canadians and people from up north. Really, it's just not a lot of international. We have a very minimum of German, English, and French here. So that's mostly it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Yeah. I just didn't know, like right now, especially with capital flows, if there was a lot of international money still coming in or moving into the market, or if you'd seen that slow down a bit.
Slowed down during COVID. Now we see people are coming. So, for instance, from France, people are coming for work as well to establish a visa, and they do a work visa. They open a bakery or something, and they hope to stay, and work forever here and establish their life here. So we see a lot of people that are just moving out and coming to start a new life in the States. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. But it hasn't. So tell me, I guess in general, the market over there, have you seen prices decline at all? Have you seen, what are you seeing in the market really?
It's all over, really. So what we see a lot of prices that were not priced right that are decreasing. So those are definitely not selling really fast. If it sells, it's listed right. If it's a good price, whatever it is, it's going to sell very fast. I still have multiple offers. I had to do escalation clause again this last 2 months. So January and February were slower, but March and April were crazy. Multiple offers. If you didn't have cash, you didn't get the property pretty much, So that was a little weird because some of the other properties are not selling. Condos are really going to be difficult to sell. We have a huge issue in Florida with the one that fell in Miami. Now they have rules that they have to fix everything, and owners are being assessed tremendous amount of money to fix their condos. And the other issue is that now the condo association, they don't have enough money in reserve to accept buyers with lenders. So it's going to be cash buyers, and they have to go in a condo where the fees can be at, $800,000 for a $300,000 condo doesn't make sense. So it's going to be very difficult in the coming few years with the condo market here in Florida in general.
So what's going to happen? What do you foresee happening then? Are they going to be sold? I'll tell you why I'm asking this. I had a conversation with a gentleman just a few days ago, and very interesting investor. His strategy, or one of the things that he did, he would go and he would take over condo associations, manage them. And then he had line of sight on anybody that was selling or anything that was happening. He'd actually go and buy more condos, right? That was his whole thing. He wanted to buy more condos. But he talked about the mismanagement of condo associations. And so I would say with the regulations plus the insurance requirements now, I imagine Florida insurance prices have probably skyrocketed just like everywhere else that's coastal. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, what do you, are they going to sell at a loss? Like what happens with the association?
It's going to be, it's going to be bad. Some homeowners will have to give the keys to the HOA because they won't be able to pay their fees. It's already happening, yeah. And then some others will have to sell for cash. Most of them will have to sell. I had two just recently that had to be cash only. And it was not in relation with the future, of those repairs. It was just what they were dealing with right now between the flood insurance that's getting higher for those condos and the home insurance, it's just, and the mismanagement as well, as you say, it's really hard with some condo association as well. But in general, it's going to be a big issue. So I would not advise people to buy a condo as an investment unless you pay, nothing to the dollar. Of course, if you get a really cheap deal, but you still have to pay your monthly fees, and that can really affect your return.
Yeah, educate me here a little bit then. So we on condos, because we don't do a lot of condos in San Antonio. Mm-hmm. I know there are a few properties here, but we have so much room that we just spread out, and we build out more than up.
Yeah.
And so it sounded like you said the association can dictate whether or not buyer can use debt or not. How can the condo dictate that?
So first of all, the condo association can take your property if you don't pay your monthly fees.
Sure.
And a few months or whatever it is. And the other thing is they need reserve and they need to have a good standing budget in order for lenders to lend in that community. And so now that they're going to have to be facing, hey, each owner needs to pay $10,000 or we increase the fees, twice as what they are, and be left without reserves in their budget. That's going to be an issue. So that means it's going to be cash only for purchaser. And of course, sellers will be hurt because demand is going to drop and that's going to be harder. Okay. So we have also the other option is we have condos and we also have townhomes that are PUD. So they are considered single homes, which are great because they are not dictated by, the same rules as condos. So those are great investments. They're better for investors. That's where my investors are going if they don't want a single home, because it's a little bit better managed and the rules are less restrictive as well.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for clearing that up because it's the lender who's not going to lend on a property that has the dues. Okay. But it's not the actual condo association that can stifle a sale.
They can take over the condo if you don't pay the fees. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Close from that second position. We're proud to be sponsored by Ridgeline Investment Group. Ridgeline has a track record of transacting more than $53 million in assets throughout Texas. Ridgeline is currently looking to acquire 100 to 200 unit Class B multifamily communities between 5 and 20 million in San Antonio, Temple, Waco, Tyler, and other Texas secondary markets. To learn more about Ridgeline Investment Group, visit www.ridgelineig.com. So yeah, the market, I've heard that what you just said echoed from a number of the top producers that I talked to from around the country. They're saying that, demand is low just because inventory is low because sellers don't want to list. The ones that do list are getting multiple offers if the property is, priced right and it's in good condition. So it's an interesting market. It really is. And a lot of luxury home realtors are also not having an issue because they're seeing cash buyers, a lot of cash transactions that have, rates have no bearing on those deals whatsoever. So, okay, we were talking a little bit about the and you're seeing your investors. Do you work with a lot of investors who are buying income properties?
So yeah, I do. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I try to tell them not to buy condos. Yeah. That's one thing.
Yeah. No, I mean, again, so my background, I've been buying, fixing, flipping houses for years and years and years. And so in San Antonio, the condo projects that we did have, I would always stay away from them just because the dues, I mean, it made no sense really when you have that on top of your payments, your cash flows are just going to be reduced by that amount of money. And so it never really made sense when I could go buy a house for probably less money. But okay, so then what are you seeing? Do you sell single families or do you sell small multis? What do you?
No, mostly single families and townhomes and condos. For investors, like I said, stay away from condos, but single homes, really, you still have quite a lot of homes for sale that are okay to fix and make you can flip it or rent it out, renting it out is great here. I mean, the rent amount average is, I think, $2,400 a month for this area. When you buy a property, at $350 and then you put $100 in it and keep it, and the value is going to increase in the property as well. So you can definitely make a great investment here. Prices in the area are not as high as this should be. Everybody's complaining, of course, they are still going up very quickly. They are high. But when you compare it to other big cities, I mean, we are by the water. The nature here is great. We have access to water, activities, sports, museums, and everything, with a great airport as well. So it's going to boom. It's just it's not going down. Even if you might have a little bit of up and down once in a while. I mean, the prices here are still so much lower than other big cities, so it should still go up.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask, because you're marketing your city right now. It's in around. I liked it. You're marketing your city. Yeah. So I'm gonna ask you a marketing question.
I love it here. I love it here.
So how do you approach marketing and advertising for your clients' properties? Do you do anything unique aside from listing? Like, are you pushing it out to international buyers when you have listings, or do you focus mainly on the buy side? I didn't even ask that.
So I think mostly doing great drone videos and pictures. It's huge. It saddens me when I see homes that are $1 million or plus with a few pictures. So that's key to me, is having great pictures. Yeah, they can do great job. But really, in any type of property, we do a drone if we can, and market it to the maximum with the pictures. And of course, it goes to all the international sites and everything else. I don't think that's where my buyers are coming from. If I have a listing, it helps promote it for sure. But having great pictures is the beginning of it. And then, of course, I market it all around differently. But that's really the key, I think. And make it available and make it priced correctly. And right now, we need to educate the sellers that they need to fix their house again. Before, you just open the door and it would sell. Mm-hmm. Now you need to have the 4-point is a big deal, for sellers to make sure that their house will pass a 4-point for inspection, so that the buyer can get insurance on their house. In Florida, that's a big deal. The roofs are the first question when I list a house is, how old is your roof? Or when I have a buyer, it's the same, because roofs are a killer here. It's you have to work around it, but it's complicated here in Florida.
So what is it with the roof? It's hard to get a roofing company out to fix these roofs, or just you?
No, it's the insurance is telling a roof, and if it's over that, they are giving you trouble, to insure. You can definitely go around it and make it last longer, pay more. I mean, there are ways, you can fix it just after closing, but you have to be aware of that. Yeah. And some insurance are complicated and won't accept a roof that's a certain age. So you have to be aware of that. Educate your sellers about it, because they're like, my roof is fine, and then boom, there's an issue when you have an inspection. So yeah. All
right, let's talk about that then. I like stories. So what's been like one of the most challenging or memorable deals that you've worked on, and like, what did you have to do to get the deal closed? Anything pop into mind? We all have our war stories. I just like these little, like.
Yeah, there's so many.
Yeah. Do you have one that comes to mind? Then let's talk about it.
See, I mean, of course, like most realtors, cleaning the whole house and renting the whole house so that it can close, because you have your COVID 90-year-old lady that's not here, and you have to deal with everything from top to bottom, to get it sold. I mean, it's more common than not now, and people are, able to sell without even coming or buy without coming, and either way. So the struggle of getting things done with repairs has been, one of the things too, because I have a lot of people that are sellers that are not here, and being able to go and do the repairs with the professionals, for them, and working on that. So yeah, but I have many of stories, but nothing come to mind right now.
That's good. That's good.
But we make it work, and we make it work really, and it's going beyond what's necessary. It's not just showing up for a closing anymore. It's really going way after that as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you're almost a project manager where you have to organize all the pieces and get, a psychologist.
There you go. Too. Yeah. Divorces and people. I had a couple that an hour before closing sent an email and said, "Oh, we are getting a divorce. We're not closing on this house." It's like, oh, that's the first one.
Yeah. That's a challenge.
And I was like, wow. Yeah, and I talked to the lady, and there was no way. She was like, "No, that's done. We're done."
Whatever money we lost, we lost. No, sue us if you want. Type.
Yeah, they were not signing. Yeah. But everything happens. You never know. It's very interesting. It's never a boring job. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's always the don't cash the check until it's in your bank sort of deal. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that on the marketing side. And then I guess on let's talk about communication, I guess, with your clients. Again, if you're dealing with international clients, how do you prioritize your client care and communication throughout the whole process? Because it seems, again, like it would be a unique communication style. You're either doing all text message, international texting, or you're, Zoom calls, or how do you handle that while you're still trying to go out and prospect and do all your other activities?
Yeah. Yes, so you have to know what tools they can use. A lot of international people use WhatsApp, which is a free app, for phone and call and text. So it's awesome. I've done many WhatsApp video, for closing, for final walkthrough, for this, for things like that. So that really helps, because they pay, sometime in different countries, they pay for the phone, for the international phone call. So of course I have an free international, I pay for the free international call, so I can call anybody anywhere. But if I do have a Chinese clients, for instance, it's a different story. It doesn't happen very often, but they have a harder time connecting online to see properties and to view them. So it's not as common. And then trying to get on their same time frame. If they are 12 hours ahead, when you have a closing, doing different paperwork, that's a time frame issue. That can be complicated as well. So last month I had a few transactions that were in Bangkok. One was in everywhere in the world, and I had to go on the phone and answer the phone at 7 a.m. in the morning, which which is different. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a unique challenge. It's a unique, dealing with that many different time zones and different clients and literally all over the world.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. You're a 24/7 agent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a team? Have you built out a team? Are you solo? Do you have?
So yes.
Yeah.
So yes. 6 years ago, my son said, "Hey, you're very successful and you need help. So can I help you?" And he became a full-time realtor. He's also a professional photographer, so he does all the drone and the videos and the pictures. He sets up, all the technology and websites. So he's really helping me with the all that part, and also going everywhere and driving. We drive so much in this business, so it helps having him along, and we work together on that. And so most of my clients are my past clients and all that, but he has also his 28-year-old friends that are buying homes and already reselling, so that helps as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's awesome. And so one, I have a 5.5. He's about to be 6, and he's out of school now, and he didn't want to go to his little summer camp, and so I was like, all right, come on, we're gonna go drive properties. No, I was like, hey man, this is the way it works. You're gonna learn real estate. You're gonna get busy. Yeah. So that's awesome that you guys work together. there's something about
it is.
Yeah, there's something about working with family where it's like a full trust sort of deal and easy. You know that somebody's going to pick it up. You guys have conversations about it. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's not going to go for he's going to be there forever, and also I travel a lot for fun or not. I do a lot of real estate conferences. I was in Paris for 2 weeks last June, for me, for a real estate conference, and it's awesome because the ease there is here, so there's no issue with me working at midnight, trying to get my clients, to talk to them, from over there after a nice dinner out. So at least I have somebody here that can take care of my client all the time. And that's really important because I see so many agents, you were asking, about marketing and all that. So many agents don't have a plan. They leave for a family emergency or something, and there's no one that can answer to show their listing or to deal with their people. And so that makes a big difference, being able to go and enjoy a vacation and relax, or, doing a conference and have somebody here to do the work and keep up with the clients.
Yeah. Have the coverage that you need. You mentioned, so he's a photographer. Yeah. And I was joking a minute ago, if you're listening and you're not watching the video, I held up my iPhone a minute ago, because if you're out there and you're taking pictures with your iPhone and you're trying to sell a house, even if it's a $200,000, $300,000 house, you should just pay the $100, $200. I mean, you get the whole package. Maybe it's $250 or something. I don't know what they're charging, but it looks night and day. One of my agents posted a house the other day, and I was looking at it, and it was all iPhone pictures. I was like, this isn't moving because you have these photos. Like, I can already tell you immediately, go get. So that's low hanging fruit, easier to sell your properties, spend a little bit of marketing dollars to get it's a value add for your clients, and you'll be doing them a better service.
And it was so easy those last 3 years. You just had to post something online, anything, and it would sell. But now it's going to be a difference between those who do the work, who know what to do, and the ones who don't care and don't do a good job. So
answer your phone. It's like answer your phone and
show up and so use the phone and follow up.
Basic first day stuff. So I want to talk a little bit about investing in general, because the big part of the show is just like, how can we as agents grow our active income and roll that by once we grow it, what can we invest it in? Like, what can we put our money to work in? The obvious offshoot for most agents would be to put it into real estate, but obviously there are other investments, that sort of thing. So I guess my question is, are you investing in real estate? Do you what does it look like for you? Do you own any rentals or anything like that? Or do you have any plans to do that?
Yeah, I do. And it was really out of luck from a Canadian investor that didn't speak anything but French. And I was really out there to help her. And turns out she couldn't even come and do anything. So I had to do everything, like, having a rat infested house cleaned up before even listing it, because, it was going to wreck water. Yeah, I tell you, it would come back. Because I told her, if you have rats in your house, they're going to mess up the electric at least, and the AC and everything else. So I paid that out of pocket, right away, even before thinking that I would be interested in it for myself. And as I looked at it, I said, well, that was before, everything went crazy. And I said, yeah, that's a good rental income. And let's do it. So it was a little bit of a nightmare, because I ended up having an issue with the loan, but nothing to do with that. But I ended up having 2 loans at one on the same house that I did not own. So that was something. Yeah, I'm glad it was me and not a buyer, a normal buyer, because I wouldn't have believed them. I was like, how can you close on a house and have a loan? Yeah, but that happens. I mean, you were a lender, you know what it is.
Yeah. So the title company didn't clear the prior. Yeah.
The papers didn't come from Quebec from the seller, and I ended up doing a dry closing, which we do all the time. We sign and we left and waiting for the papers, but then the title company didn't send the money back to the lender, and I had a loan on a property that I did not close on for a month. And we ended up closing with the same lender on the same property, and it kind of erased itself and worked out. But it was very scary because it could have ruined my credit, because I was like, I need to pay for something I don't own. That was wild. Yeah.
Any title company listening to this is going to go, well, that's a lawsuit in 2 seconds. Like, that's the whole reason. But I guess you close on it. You may not have even had title insurance yet. It's like, what even happens? Can you
that was one of my preferred title company, and it was due to COVID. There were some issues, and people, were sick and so on. But they lost my business for sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that's way too big. That was way too big of a big deal, And again, I was so glad it was me and not one of my first time home buyer.
Yeah.
That was nerve-wracking for sure. But I did invest in that property. Great. I mean, if you just go outside of the Tampa Bay area, you can find really good deals, smaller homes, that you can rent very easily. The demand for rental is huge here. We don't have enough, as you were mentioning before, we don't have a lot of space here. So we are expanding a lot. And now driving an hour to Tampa for work is not something, unusual at all anymore. So you can find still some really good deals out there, and a lot of new built as well, not for investment, but for people that want to, buy, that are fair price really, but investment properties are great for income, for renting it out here. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Do you still have that property, or did you sell it?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. It's working out great.
Let's talk about, I guess, the mechanics of it now. So it's a rental property for you?
Yeah.
And do you manage it yourself, or do you have someone else managing it?
No, it's an hour away, and I have enough to do. So I hired a property manager, and the property manager I work with speak like 7 languages. So it really helps with the type of people I'm working with. I have people from everywhere, and so they do the property management, and it works out really well. It's really hard to find good property managers. I don't know if it's the same for you, but here it's difficult.
Oh yeah, I think in general there's a few different buckets. Looking at apartments though, you have anything over 100 to 150 units. You can find these people a little bit easier because it's a well-known entity. In the 10 to 90 unit range, it's very challenging. And then in the single family range, it's you can get like the full service guys that charge quite a bit and eat into your cash flow, or you can get like the one-offs. Yeah. So it is challenging. When you find a good one, stick with them, and treat them right, pay them well.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Totally.
So you have the one, and would you do it again? Have you thought about buying more? Or is it
definitely. Nice? I would love to do it again. Yeah. And at the moment, my son is looking for a house, so that's the next project. And it's now a better time, I think, because those last few years, unless you had just full cash, that was impossible. So I think now is a really good time. This year is a really good time because people are a little bit afraid of the high interest rates, of course. So that takes away those people that really don't want to, to buy right now. But even as an investor, it's a great time to buy because prices haven't skyrocketed like they have, those last few years. Now we are about between 3 and 5% increase in price in this area. Versus, we had, way over 18 and so on last few years. So it's kind of slowed down in a way. And also you don't have normally 30 offers. You only have, 3 or 4 maybe, or depending on the price range, of course. So that helps getting us a chance to buy now versus we don't know what's going to happen in the future. Nobody knows, it seems like. But I think it's a good time now to buy and secure something that's not priced too high and in good condition. Yeah.
Yeah. Does your son want to do any work on the property, or does he want to buy finished, like ready to move into?
Whatever he can with, if he can get insurance on it, because that's another story. Is you need insurance if you have a loan. So it needs to be halfway decent, for it to pass inspection.
Yeah. That makes sense. The reason I ask is if he wants to do some work. I don't know if you ever worked with any wholesalers or anything out in that market, if you're familiar with what wholesalers are or what they do. Yeah. Because hunting for a deal and hunting for your own house, you can, if you find a good one, it's just like anything else. If you find a good wholesaler, they can bring you a decent deal that is, 70% of the retail value minus all the repairs. And so he may be able to find a deal, rehab it, move into it, refinance it, and get his stabilized loan on it, and have 20 to 30% equity in the property when everything's taken into account. So if he's looking at, again, you have to do those deals, it's a rehab model. So that's the model that we bought all of our houses on. We would, if it's worth $100,000, the most I would ever offer would be $70,000. That's cash. I'm coming in, closing, or hard money or something. But then if it needed $50,000 in repairs, then I would offer $20,000. $20,000, I'd put the 50 in, so I'd have a 30% spread.
Okay.
But it's hard to, to find those deals. One, it's really hard, time consuming, takes all those things. So you work with a wholesaler, maybe they'll bring you a deal that's worth, but again, he has to put in if he wants a project, that's the whole, that's why I started with that question.
Yeah, that's expensive. But I do get about, it's funny. It just started about 4 months ago. I get about 10 texts a day from people looking for investment property. Yeah. It's terrible. They're all investors looking for properties and buy it before it comes in the market and so on. But it's the amount of texts I get. It's crazy. It's gotten out of hand, and there's no, because I'm the same. When you own any property, you're getting hammered with those and voicemail drops. It's kind of, it's getting old if you're out there listening to this and you wholesale. But yeah, it all comes down to, again, if you can find one. But what changed and what shifted, these guys have just call centers now that are doing it for them, and they're just like hammering, and there's no recourse. There's no way you can really like stop the spam calls. Yeah, my mother-in-law literally told me this morning she had five calls before 8 a.m. It's crazy. So anyway, look, Valerie, I enjoyed the conversation. Really good getting to know you and hearing what you're working on, what you're doing. I applaud you for the investment in that deal. Hope your son can find one that he likes. And find thank you.
He's good with. If anybody wants to reach out to Valerie, her contact information is in the show notes. And again, thanks for sharing your knowledge, jumping on the show. It's great getting to know you. Thank you, Randall. Have a great day. You too. Take care. Bye-bye. Did you know that 80% of the agents we speak with got into real estate in order to gain passive income so they could obtain financial freedom and become work optional? If you want to stay up to date, the best way is to make sure you're subscribed. So if you haven't done that, go ahead and do it now. We'll catch you on the next episode.